This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. It's life in football. We are life in football.
Welcome to the Life in Football podcast, baby. I'm your host, Mike Fee.
And this your coach, Colin Moore. You know, we loving life and enjoying football.
Top-notch coaches all around the world. Top-notch coaches all around the world. Yes, sir. We got a top-notch coach on. He's coming with a lot of experience from high school, junior college, to all the way to the NFL, to the top dog, even to the CFL, to other colleges, head coach, linebacker coach, defensive coordinator. Man, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I want in a leader, because he's coming with experience. He has the confidence, and he has the team right now balling out of control. That team is Southeastern University Fire, and they have a beautiful stadium, turf field, flames coming out the end zone when they score. And I'm telling y'all, if it was up to me, and I'm a recruit coming out of high school, I'll give Coach Rivas and his staff a serious consideration down there at Southeastern, because they have something that's growing real big and a train that y'all need to really consider hopping on. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let Simo bring him on.
How you doing, Coach?
Seymour, how you doing? Mike, thank you so much for having me.
Good. It's a blessing to have you on, Coach.
Appreciate being here. Appreciate you guys having me. I've been actually admiring your guys' work from afar since I've been in town since January. So I really appreciate you having the opportunity to be on your podcast.
We thank you so much, Coach. I wanted to go ahead and get right on it, Coach. Now, what actually made you pick the University of Southeastern? Like, how did we get the opportunity to have you? Like, how did you get to come here with us?
Well, I'll tell you what. Without it being too long of a story, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version to it. It's really a God thing, and not to make this turn into a sermon here and me from the pulpit, but I will tell you that God had a big part of this, like he does for everything. And sitting there in Southern California at Azusa Pacific University, which was home, Southern California, born and raised in San Diego, and I had been all over the country. Like you said, from high school to Division III, Division II, Division I, and all over the place, all from the Midwest to the South to everything in between. And what I'll tell you is that God found us, me and my family, my wife and my 3 daughters down in LA. And it really just was an opportunity to lead a program that I really knew nothing about on the front end. But then when Drew Watson, our athletic director, approached me around the holidays that there was a vacancy here, originally I just said it was just too far. Moving across the country with a young family, and I was already at home, and thought that was going to be a great place to raise my young daughters. We just couldn't move. And then he just kept telling me, you got to check it out. Yeah, Lakeland's this beauty of a place to live, and the resources here and the talent here, and it being a faith-based institution. He knew I loved doing faith-infused football. He knew that was a passion of mine already, being at Sioux Falls and being at Azusa Pacific before. And he just kept speaking my love language when it came to football. I mean, that's really what it was. And the only thing about it was a guy that had to move across the country. So I gave in and jumped on a flight. And when I brought my wife and my oldest daughter out here for a visit, Southeastern checked all the boxes. So like you were talking about, if you're a recruit, you'd like to consider Southeastern. Well, shoot, I felt like I was the biggest recruit. They treated me like gold, and then meeting all the people. That's really what it came down to. It was all the people. It was the mission statement of the university, how they wanted to build relationships, how they wanted to use football as a mechanism to disciple the people and young men and turn champions in life. out of all these young men, I was all in. They were selling all the things that I really truly believed in, were my core values as a young man, as a coach, as a father, and as a leader. And so for me, it was my wife was the one going, why not? And I really thought she was the one that was going to be, no, we don't want to move. We don't want to move. And she was the one all in. She was like, hey, this checks all the boxes. Let's roll.
Now, Coach, ain't this amazing how God has just lined everything up for you? He lined it up so good, even your wife said, let's go. Like, it's can't miss situation.
No doubt.
Because I know if my wife says it's time to go, hey, it's time to go.
Right.
Now, with that being said, like, when did you actually know that did you know you wanted to be a head coach in high school? Did you know you wanted to be a head coach when you was in college? Like, when did it click? Like, you know what? I want to be the main man at the school and teaching the players, what they should and shouldn't be doing.
Well, I think, I grew up in the business thinking all I want to do is be a position coach and a coordinator. That's all I want to do. I want to do ball. I don't want to mess with any of that other stuff that head coaches have to deal with. All the administrative stuff and the problems and the issues and making rules and regulations and discipline. Man, I just want to do ball. And but then I was sitting at the University of Nebraska at Kearney one day, and I was probably about 28, 29 years old. And I got my first opportunity to interview for a head job at a Division II school. And I had never really considered it before, but we were pretty good over there. And so they kind of came calling, and I interviewed for it, and I turned out to be a finalist for the job. Between the grace of God, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but it came down to me and one other person. And what it did was it just spurned a lot of thought at the time, things that I hadn't even really considered about developing a program and why and how I'd lead young men and academics and just all the things that have to do with programmable stuff. And it really kind of made me more curious, even though I didn't get the job at the time, and it was in the mid 2000s, it really just kind of spurred me to think more about not just my career, but my purpose. And it turned into a little bit more than ball at that point. And so from that point in time, I became a little bit more curious about being a head coach and about having my own program and running things my own way and what that would look like and the why behind it. And so that's kind of when it started.
Now, Coach, everything you just said, it was almost a ladder just to climb to the position that you are now, even from getting to Southeastern and deciding to becoming a head coach. Give us some insight. What other things are the tools that you give your players to help them to be successful in life?
Well, I think you use that keyword life. I think that I joke around with the guys all the time, and I say, hey, we use this silly game of football to teach life lessons. And when we talk about our culture here at SEU, we really talk, our mission statement is building champions while pursuing championships. So we really focus on the building champion part. Building champions, what does that look like? Well, it's this life transformational experience that we want to provide to the young men to take them from wherever they're at. And that's what we talk about a lot. We're going to meet you wherever you're at. If you're the kid from a two-parent household that's affluent, that's had a lot provided to you, that great parents, great upbringing, we're going to meet you where you're at and try to take you higher than when you walked in the door. If you came from a family that was a broken home and you were raised by a grandparent or a foster kid, and you've got absolutely you don't even have two nickels to rub together, and you don't know what you're going to do with your life, we're going to meet you where you're at there. And we want to get you, whenever it is that you leave us, we want to propel you to be prepared for life when you leave our program, and basically take on, we use this word legacy a lot, change your life legacy or continue your life legacy depending on where you started from. And I think that's a really important aspect of developing these young kids into young men. Life after football. You say, life and football. We talk about life after football every day.
Perfect, Coach. Now, we got a big game coming up this weekend. Look at me and Simo keep talking about we.
We do. We got big game. What's going on? Every week's a big game, Mike. Every week is a big game.
Right.
They're all hard.
Right.
They're all tough. They're all big games.
And see, this one coming up this weekend is tough. And I love what you just said. They all big
They
games.
are all.
So this week we got number 1 in the conference versus number 2. What are some of the things that because I know with games like this, guys get a little too hyped, and I don't know, it's almost you go into a panic mode, but not really panic, but you're just so excited to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are the goals for this week of kind of keeping everything, hey, we keeping it normal, but we still going to play Southeastern University football?
See, you guys can already run this interview already. You keep using all my words already. You said normal. You used the word normal. And that's actually something that, and I'm not downplaying this, and I promise this isn't just an interview plug and to sound a soundbite, but we've used the slogan, it's all about us. It's not about them, it's about us. It's all about what we do and how we conduct ourselves. It's all about our culture, our process. It's all about our day-to-day. It's all about going 1-0. It's a nameless and faceless opponent. We're going to approach the week the exact same way. We're not going to get too high. We're not going to get too low. That's how we were approaching the whole season. So whether we're talking about Ave Maria week 1 or we're talking about Flomo week 9, we're going to approach Kaiser week 5 the exact same way. Are they good? Absolutely. You stick on the film. But what I told our guys when you're seeing the film and how we prep for this game, there is no difference in how we prep. And that's our process, and we got to stick to that. If we try to do something outside of whatever our process is from week to week because of the opponent, now we're making it about them, and now we're not making it about us. And I think that takes away from what our process is long term. And that's what I keep focusing on right now. This is a long-term deal. This is not just a 4-week deal. It's not a 1-season deal. It's not just a 2020 deal. This is long term. And so if we want to create a culture of winning over a long period of time, we just need to take every week for what it is. Make sure we're consistent in what we do every week. Make sure our core values and our process are right, and what we truly believe in. We don't deviate from them. And I think the winning will take care of itself. And if we're good enough to win this week, we will. And if we're not, we won't. But this is what we tell our guys every Saturday when it says 4 zeros on the scoreboard and we stand under that goalpost. We say, no matter win or lose, what do we do on Monday? And they all say the exact same word: work. All got to come back and work on Monday. And it doesn't matter. You win by 50, you lose by 50. Monday still looks the same.
Coach, that's what I be telling Mike when we go film and get amazing film like from you guys or any other high school game. I'd always come back to me, okay, man, that felt good. But now, okay, well, who next? And let's get with it. Let's plan for it. But I really want to know, Coach, like, how did you pick that amazing staff? Like, your staff from top to bottom, these are top-notch guys. Like, did you know some of these guys before time, or did somebody say, hey, this one good, check him out, just check him out for me? But
God is good, my man. God is good. So, I can't explain it any other way other than God's great. He sticks people in your life for the purpose of just making you better. And it's whether or not you have an open arms to receive it or not. I really, truly believe that. And so when one door closes, another one opens up. And that's kind of exactly how our staff went. Every single one of them. Because when I walked in the door, I kept everybody. I didn't want to let go of anybody. And, I made one staff change when I brought in Richard Sanchez. But I'll tell you what, when Richard Sanchez wasn't even looking for a job. Richard Sanchez had a job when I first got here. And I didn't know who I was going to hire at offensive coordinator. I knew that was something that was going to be made, a decision that needed to be made, and we did. And I just knew God would provide. God got that, the whole thing. And we had plenty of qualified candidates for it, but we needed to find the right fit. And me and Coach Sanchez go way back. He's obviously a San Diego guy as well, Southern California guy as well, has 10, 12 more years of experience than I do even. He's been around the block and then some, and he was a great fit, great fit. He's a great leader, great mentor, not just of our players, but he's a great mentor for coaches. And that was something that really struck me and stuck with me over the years when I watched Coach Sanchez both as a high school coach, a college coach, and I looked at him as a mentor as well. When I saw him, he did a phenomenal job of training his coaches over a long period of time. And that was something that was really cool. And then, keeping Coach Pettaway around was a priority. Really wanted to keep him here. He did a great job with the defense the last couple of years, and it's obviously he's doing a great job this year as well. Bringing in a local guy like Johnny Mack and bringing in a guy that had experience in the secondary like Coach McNutt, who had coached with Coach Pettaway before, so they knew each other. And I think a good relationship was vitally important there on defense. We were able to move Coach Mayo over from offense to defense. He's an alum of SEU, and then bringing Coach Pierce back, former quarterback at SEU. Was really trying hard to bring at least one more alum back on staff. That was very important to me. I want to create a culture that our former players want to coach, and they want to come back. They want to give back to the program, but we also want to give back to them. So, there's a lot of other guys. Keeping Coach Beto around for another year was important. He was one of our offensive GAs, but a huge spiritual leader for us on our team. And then bringing in Coach Roberts on offensive line. He had coached with Coach Sanchez before. He had, so many other different experiences between a head coach and a coordinator and coaching offensive line, junior college, high school, been a West Coast guy. But the experience that he had with Coach Sanchez was invaluable because it was such a late hire when Coach Ingles took the job at Erskine.
Coach, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor to you and give you a chance to let the people know what Southeastern is all about, and if they'll recruit, why they should really consider coming to your school. If you could real quickly just, give us some good information to provide the recruit.
What I'd love to share with people is that just Southeastern, aside from it looking like a vacation destination when you walk on campus, it's a beautiful place, great academics, great people, really about experiencing college from a relational standpoint. It's all about relationships, taking care of its people, great facilities, great coaches, like you said, but just an environment where people really care about you as an individual, not just as a number. And I think that's really important. What I tell recruits is you got to evaluate a place on a few different criteria: academics, athletics, social environment, and the faith component when you go to a private Christian university like ours. And, a lot of guys, young men, take visits, and it's all about the football. But what we'll tell them here is that, you're going to be taken care of as more than just a football player, because we really want this to be a life transformational experience. So you got to evaluate it holistically. Again, you go to a school just for football, and if football's not quite working out, what are you going to do next? And so here at Southeastern, there's just so many other options. And so like I said, we want to make this a well-rounded experience for our young men. We want to make it to where we're preparing them for life after football. We want to make sure that their coaches are loving and caring on them. And it looks like so many different ways when their coaches are loving and caring for them. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're getting a quality degree. And so just all of those things together. How can you beat living in Central Florida, playing at a high level, have an opportunity if that's what it is to play after college? You'll have opportunities for that, but then definitely walking with a degree that'll actually mean something to you and your family when you leave.
Coach, I want to thank you again for coming on. Everybody, y'all make sure y'all go support this program, Southeastern University Fire. It is an amazing campus, beautiful stadium, beautiful field. Players, I'm telling y'all, if you don't have a home getting ready to come, I know this whole year been kind of messed up. You might not have a chance to, show your film or been to the certain camp, or whatever you think you may supposed to be going, but Southeastern will be a good school for you to attend. They have big crowds. Well, I know this year, things been kind of limited on the crowd, but they have big crowds at the game, beautiful stadium, and they have passionate fans. And I'm telling y'all, if I had a chance to do it all over again, I would really consider playing at a school like Southeastern. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave y'all like I always leave y'all. Keep your head up and not down, or else you'll fall to the ground. This is the Life in Football podcast. Catch you next time.
This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football.